Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you back to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now we are going to get right back into the great African American women. We are now on Mary McLeod Bethune. This is the second take, and we're going to finish up Mary McLeod Bethune with this take, okay? The most influential American woman, African American woman. Time period 1875 to 1955, and we're going to finish up by reading the government official. And I'll certainly let you see her picture again. See the picture? There is Mary. And it reads as such. Now, Bethune's service to the federal government had actually begun back in the 1920s. Beginning with the Coolidge administration, she served as an advisor on African American issues, especially education, to 5 successive presidents, while also serving on the National Child Welfare Commission during the Coolidge and Hoover administrations. Under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Bethune's influence greatly expanded. In August 1935, she became one of the 35 members of the Advisory Committee of the National Youth Administration, NYA, a New Deal agency formed to help young people obtain vocational training and job placement. In June 1936, she was appointed the director of NYA division that specialized in black youth, thus achieving the highest federal government position held by any African American woman up to this time. Her long-range goal was to open doors so that blacks could assume roles of leadership in American society. Therefore, besides overseeing the disbursement of funds for vocational training for young black Americans, she lobbied for the support of black college students, the community future leaders. Furthermore, she pushed for the employment of qualified black assistants in the state and regional offices of the NYA itself. Bethune developed a close personal association with President Roosevelt, and especially with First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. She met with them often to discuss race-related issues and vigorously backed the president in his campaign for re-election. Her efforts helped to provide blacks with a strong political voice within the Democratic Party. Soon, Bethune's stature in Washington grew beyond her role with the NYA, as she became Roosevelt's unofficial overall race relations strategist. To get the best possible advice for this expanded position, in August of 1936, she organized a Federal Council on Negro Affairs, popularly known as the Black Cabinet, consisting of more than 100 black advisors from the National Urban League, the NAACP, the Black Press, and other groups. Do we still have the Black Cabinet? That was just a side note question. Back to the book. The Black Cabinet, called two historic national black conferences in Washington in January 1937 and January 1939, presided over by Bethune herself. These conferences presented African American needs, recommended government policies, and spread the results throughout official Washington. While working for the government, Bethune continued her independent activities. In 1941, for example, she endorsed black labor leader A. Philip Randolph's March on Washington movement, which led to an executive order barring racial discrimination in employment, in government, and defense industries. In August 1943, the NYA ceased to operate, but Bethune continued to have a voice in national affairs. In 1945, as a special representative of the State Department, she attended the San Francisco Conference that established the United Nations. And throughout the late 1940s and early 1950s, she continued to advise Presidents Truman and Eisenhower on matters affecting race relations. In her later years, she established the Mary McLeod Bethune Foundation and promoted Frank Buchman's moral rearmament. I don't know if I said that correctly, so I'm going to spell it. Rearmament, R-E-A-R-M-A-M-E-N-T. An international movement aiming to unite people behind a set of absolute values. She also traveled widely and received recognition in other countries. In 1949, Haiti presented her with its Medal of Honor and Merit. And in 1952, Liberia gave her its Star of Africa Award. Mary McLeod Bethune died at her home in Daytona Beach on May 18, 1955, having become the nation's preeminent symbol of black dignity and achievement. This does complete Mary McLeod Bethune. Certainly stay tuned to Poem Praise 2 for our next great African American woman, which is going to be Jane M. Bolin, America's first black woman judge, 1908 until. So stay tuned, and I'll actually let you see a picture of Jane. This is what Jane looks like right there. And there's a preview for the next, okay? So stay tuned and we'll learn more about our great African American women right here on Poem Praise 2. So I want you and your family to be blessed. Have a wonderful rest of this evening. Be well. Keep your head up. And I will talk with you soon. It be it thy will. So until next time. Later, y'all.